What if the stories we grew up with were never the original ones? I came across this fascinating chapter in the Sufi Storyteller about how stories like the Little Red Riding Hood would change over time. The old woman was the culmination of a journey. One day she heard a knock on her door and heard the panting of the wolf. "Who is it?" she asked. The wolf replied, "It is I, and it is time." The old woman opened the door, and the wolf opened its jaws wide and wider still until the old woman could walk into them. When she was inside, the wolf snapped its jaws shut. "What if the girl is not ready?" asked the wolf. The old woman replied from inside his stomach, the place of change and rebirth, the melting pot where what is eaten is transformed, where alchemy happens. "The girl is ready. I gave her the red cloak of the initiate last season." Satisfied, the wolf waited. The girl soon knocked on the cottage door. "Who is it?" The voice that answered was of both the old woman and the wolf. "It is I, Little Red." "Come in, Little Red." As soon as Little Red saw the wolf, she cried, "Where is my grandmother?" "Where do you think, Little Red?" The girl looked around, and her gaze fell upon an axe in the corner. The wolf stood still and let Little Red swing her axe at him. The old woman emerged from the wolf's bones, and the wolf spirit born anew. "Grandmother, you look so different. What great ears you have!" The old woman replied, "All the better to hear you with, Little Red, and I bequeath them to you." All at once, Little Red heard all the stories she had never heard, all the lies she had not known, and learned the truth that had been hidden from her about herself. Little Red noticed her grandmother's eyes. "Grandmother, what strange eyes you have! All the better to see you with, and I bequeath the sight to you." And Little Red began to see how cruelly the world treated her sisters and her. She began to see the patterns and had been changed in stories to fit the narrative that served those who would wound her and her sisters. "Grandmother, what great teeth you have! All the better to eat the traps that bind me, and I bequeath them to you." The grandmother hugged her. "You are more than you were before. You are now the keeper of the truth. Within you lives the spirit of the wild woman, her eyes, her teeth, her snarl, and her spirit. Use them well, Little Red, and don't lose them, because many will want you to kill it, lock it up, shun it, and starve it, so that they can control your power." More such tales about the power of women and their psyche. People changed the stories and the roles of women, so that was the way women began to perceive themselves. That was the beginning of control. How women were repeatedly perceived, written about, spoken about, portrayed, painted, and sung about. You see, an old healer became a witch. This is a resurrection story, a miracle, a tale of the soul and the cyclical nature of the universe. Stories shape how the world sees women. Perhaps it's time we take control of our own narrative. So when you walk into that performance or compensation discussion this March end, ask for what is due. Ask for what you deserve. Do not let anyone else write that story for you. Happy Women's Day.